Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to share with you all of the books that I added to my Goodreads TBR in the month of December. Alright, so each month I come to you and let you know all the books that I add to my Goodreads TBR during a specific month, as well as where I heard about that book from. So let's get into the books that I added to my TBR in December. I don't even know how many books this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-ish? I don't know if I wrote them all down right. The first book that I want to talk about is Fox by Nadine Brandeis. Sorry, I keep looking down. I'm looking at my list as well as summaries. So some of these I don't know a whole lot about, and some of them I do. So the first one is Fox by Nadine Brandeis. This is one that I've heard Chantel at An Intentional Life talk about off and on, and not in any specific video, but enough to where it's piqued my interest enough to where I want to read it. So I believe this is like a historical fantasy that is kind of a play on Guy Fawkes and the gunpowder plot to kill the British king. I don't even know what year it's set in, but it has to do with his son, and that's really all I know. So that one got added to the list. The next one on this list is Just One of the Guys by Kristen Higgins. This is one that I heard about from Rainy at Rainy Day Reads. She did a Q&A and she was talking about like books that she would recommend to anybody, and this was one that she mentioned as a romance that was like a good starter romance. It's clean, and so that's really all I know about it, is that she said that it was a good, clean, fun romance that was good for people who weren't into all the steamy parts of romance, which that would be me. So that one got added, but I really don't know a whole lot else about it. Another one that got added, I heard about from Melissa at Libraries and Labradors. This was her favorite book of 2020, and that is What the Wind Knows by Amy Harmon. This is historical fiction. I think it's like time travel historical fiction though, and it takes place in Ireland of 1921. I don't really know though. It says the Ireland of 1921, teetering on the edge of war, is a dangerous place in which to awaken. But there Anne finds herself hurt, disoriented, and under the care of Dr. Thomas Smith, guardian to a young boy who is oddly familiar. Mistaken for the boy's long missing mother, Anne adopts her identity, convinced the woman's disappearance is connected to her own. So that's what I know about that. Sorry for the glare up too, because there's a screen down there. All right, the next book that I have is Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko, I think is how you say the last name. This is one that Allison from BookstaandBujo, it's a Bookstagram account, talked about like excessively, and I really wanted to read it in December, but I never got around to it, so I ended up just putting it on my Goodreads TBR. It's a YA, I think, fantasy, but everybody's been raving about it, and so I want to try it. YA fantasy is not my jam, but I want to try it. The cover looks gorgeous. That's all I really know about it. All right, the next one on this list is Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Matthew Walker. This is one that I heard about from another Instagram account I follow, Tara Thueson. Her husband was reading this, and she was talking about it, and it just sounded really interesting. And it's a nonfiction book that talks about sleep. So yeah. All right. Next on the list is Deacon King Kong by James McBride. This is one that was on, sorry, you can hear doors opening and closing. But this is one that was on the Modern Mrs. Darcy's favorite books of the year. And this takes place in 1969. And it basically has to do with this man, cranky old church deacon known as Sports Coat, shuffles into the courtyard of the Cause House's housing project in South Brooklyn, pulls a 38mm from his pocket, and in front of everybody shoots the project's drug dealer at point blank range. And that's where it takes off from, and that just sounded super interesting to me. All right. Another one, it's another YA book, but this one's historical fiction, and that is The Light in Hidden Places by Sharon Cameron, and this is Reese's book club YA book club pick, and that's where I heard about it from, but this sounds so good. It says the extraordinary story of Stefania Podgorska, a Polish teenager who chose bravery and humanity by hiding 13 Jews in her attic during World War II. That's all I read. And I was like, yes, please. All right, and then the last book on this list is Suggested Reading by David Connis. This is one that I added to my list after watching Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand open it during her 12 Days of Plaid or whatever it was book exchange that she did with Krista from Books and Jams and Lindsay at Life Between Words. Wrong channel. Lindsay at Lindsay's Little Library. But this I think has to do with banned books. It says, in this standalone, a bookworm finds a way to fight back when her school bans dozens of classic and meaningful books. That's all I know. That's all I needed to know, and I was like, add it to list. So, I'm sorry I don't know a whole lot about most of these books, but this is what I knew when I added it, and why I added it. So, there you go. So yeah, those are the books that I added to my Goodreads TBR in the month of December. If you have any book recommendations for me, leave those down below. If you would like to share with me a book that you have added to your TBR recently, I would love that as well. And yeah, other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this. I will have linked below all of the resources of where I found out about these books from. I will have everything linked below, as well as the books that I've talked about. So definitely go check out some of these different accounts, and maybe you'll get some good book recommendations from them as well. So that's going to do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.